The Wiretap, Episode 7 of Again My Life starts with Wee Woo's operation getting underway. His drug bust is a massive success, arresting Hyen Jong and his cronies in the process. This gives him more leverage to use against Mungu, who is Wee Woo's next target. He's on the verge of taking the fall for everything, which Wee Woo is quick to remind him in the interrogation room. With the threat of prison looming over him, Mungu snaps and decides to talk. Wee Woo gives a press conference after, informing the public about Yochi's gang and their criminal ties to the local government officials. Just before name-dropping who these individuals are, pulls Wee Woo aside as the chief wants to talk urgently. It's not good news, but Wee Woo returns to the stage and points out several corrupt officials involved. Among those is Police Chief Jang Hae-jin and Sang Tae, the mayor. Wee Woo claims that's it, not even bothering to mention Assemblyman Gu. But why? Well, Sia Kyu actually told him to leave him out the statement. He, in turn, was under orders from Sia Kun and didn't have much of a choice. Tae Siop happens to be with the corrupt OFFICIAL Gu and immediately takes an interest in Wee Woo, admiring how good the rookie is at his job. Gu is confident he'll be re-elected and agrees to dedicate his life to Tae Siop. As he does, the man scurries away while Tae Siop organizes a meeting with Wee Woo. After this incident, Wee Woo soon realizes that Tae Siop has his grubby hands all over the prosecutor office. Tae Siop continues to scheme, believing that Deputy Chief Kim is playing for time and will try to get a promotion soon. His associate believes he should use a carrot-on-a-stick tactic. It's actually a spot-on assessment too, as Sia Kun shows up and, unsurprisingly, asks for a promotion. Tae Siop chuckles and agrees. 21-year-old Ian Seok is interviewed next, that freelancer enforcer from before. Wee Woo wants this guy on his side and immediately pays his mum's hospital bills. He also hands over his business card and admits he wants to hire him in the near future. This would also mean he needs to move to Seoul. He's in too, and Ian Seok joins their team. Seok Kyu is also in, admitting he wants to change the world and he admires the kid's arrogance and guts. Wee Woo fires back and suggests he become the prosecutor general in the future. Before that, Wee Woo gathers the team as they were to take down Seok-kun. In order to get to him though, they're going to go after Il-hyun first. This is going to be tough though, especially with Seok-kun's promotion up to the Central District Prosecutor's office. Seok-kun calls Wee Woo into his office, where he discusses the gang case. He admits that he's caught their attention, but for now, he wants to keep Wee Woo under Seok Kyu's management. He also wants Wee Woo to serve as an informant for him. This also means feeding back information on those in his team. Seok-kun doesn't trust people easily, so the fact that he's trusting Wee Woo is certainly surprising. Wee Woo soon detects a wiretap in their office, placed by Seok-kun himself. Wee Woo sees it as a good thing though, believing they should use this against their enemies in order to gain the upper hand. For now, it's food time, and that comes from Wee Woo gathering the whole team to eat some delicious dinner. They all toast to Wee Woo, although Han-mi soon has to return to reporting. Wee Woo continues to play this dangerous game, feeding back intel on his team to Seok-kun. Off the back of this, he's invited out by Chief Prosecutor Kim to meet the inner circle of these corrupt officials at the top. There are numerous ministers and officials here, but they all play second fiddle to Jo Tae-seop, who's the one with all the power. After dinner, Wee Woo is invited in to have a private chat with Tae-seop. It's a fascinating conversation about faith and loyalty, something that plays right into Tae-seop's beliefs. He's pretty brazen, admitting outright that he wants to be the one with all the power and change the country. Wee Woo keeps his cool and plays this game well, so well in fact that Tae-seop admits to Seok-kun later on that he really likes him. He doesn't want the kid held down and believes he's greatly misunderstood Wee Woo. Off the back of this, Seok-kun moves Wee Woo across to the anti-corruption department to work with Jang Il-hyun. There's a forum for talented and promising youngers coming up, and he suggests Wee Woo attend. Well, he gets involved in the evening, keeping his wits about him and scouting the area. Word reaches Tae-seop's office that the prosecutor's office is on the verge of checking Miri Electronics' bank account. Tae-seop tasks Seok-kun with burying this and covering it up completely. Of course, this comes from phoning his dog, Il-hyun. The same Il-hyun whom Wee Woo is buttering up at the moment. Il-hyun suspects Wee Woo is doing as much, but Wee Woo spins it as if he's actually his wingman. Il-hyun grills the medical student, Ju Seok, hard in the interrogation room. Wee Woo reflects on how he's the #1 suspect, but given they fought out in the street, there would have been witnesses. But yet, the report claims there were no witnesses. Wee Woo realizes that this is a shoddy report, and the only evidence here is the knife and fingerprints on the victim. Il-hyun is despicable and admits later on to Wee-woo that Ju-seok has got the short end of the stick. Given he's poor, it means he's easy to manipulate. They're covering up the whole thing, but making a big deal of it to distract from the current situation involving Miri Electronics. Wee-woo promises to make Il-hyun the worst prosecutor in Korea, as this case continues to take unexpected turns. Again, my life returns with another good episode, this time turning the focus across to Wee-woo infiltrating the prosecutor's office and playing both sides of the conflict. It's a clever way of working and something that eventually crescendos into that chat between Wee-woo and Tae-seop toward the end of the episode. It's going to be very satisfying watching Wee-woo take these crooks down, and all the blocks are being linked up to do just that, a domino effect of Tae-seop's cronies all being taken out before Wee-woo turns his attention to the big man himself. The show continues to deliver an absorbing blend of crime drama and thriller elements, although this feels far less sci-fi reincarnation, and more of another prosecutor law drama. There's nothing wrong with that, of course, but it does feel a tad misleading from the premise of this series. At its worst, this show feels like it's in danger of slipping into mediocrity. In fact, it's no surprise that the standout scene here comes from the dinner, with Wee-woo gathering up all the men and women who have helped him along the way up until this point. It's a simple but effective moment, one that solidifies how far Wee-woo has come as we reach the halfway point of this drama. However, it's fair to say things look like they're about to get a lot harder for our protagonist.